Welcome back, one and all, to The Horror Returns. I'm Lance, and with me, as always, we got Brian in the house, Philip in the house. What's up, guys?
What's up?
Not much.
Beautiful day in Alaska.
Yeah,
Snow's melting. Temperatures rising.
good
Sun's
sign.
out. Loving it.
Sun's out, guns out, huh?
Not that weather
Um,
time yet, but
oh man, be very careful, guys. Speaking of guns out, the one of our patrons has threatened to pick all three Magic Mike movies for us to talk about.
Uh-oh.
hey, I'm
Um,
watching. The parts I've seen are fucking hilarious.
Yeah, well, I mean, look, the third one, Salma Hayek's in it, and she must bathe in baby's blood or something because she's still looking good.
Well,
Her and
she,
Cruise, they got the same shit going on.
Salma Hayek, she's married to like an old billionaire guy or something.
Is she?
I think so.
His
Well,
name is Dracula.
Yes.
Oh, there you go. Just drop a little blood on her, and she's good to go, right?
Yeah.
All right. Well,
Handy stuff.
while you guys are talking about the trailers, I'll have to be watching them. Try to chime in because I ran out of time. It's been a crazy, hectic 2 weeks.
I think
Um,
you should have got one of them before your movie.
did I?
The
What we
last
got?
voyage of the Demeter.
Oh, you know what, dude? The traffic was so bad. We literally got there right when the movie was starting. I barely met. I like. Let me put it to you this way: I go to AMC theater, and Nicole Kidman, she was halfway through her speech that she does before every AMC movie
Ah.
that I'm getting so fucking tired of.
Who do we
Well,
get? We get because we have Rigo. We get Maria Menounos. Is that her
okay,
name?
yeah, like
Oh,
in a
yeah.
minute or whatever
Yeah.
that thing is she does.
With her stupid pre-movie
Well,
trivia stuff.
Yeah.
that's right.
Yeah.
Yes. I've been to some theaters that have shown that as well.
She'll have a guest on and she'll be like super surprised
Right?
they know all these easy ass answers.
Yeah. what was the third of the Three Stooges? That kind of shit. Who played the last man on Earth? Surely anybody would know that one without having
Yeah,
to
but
look it up,
it gets
right?
stupider. What current super or video game movies in the theater that starts with super?
Yeah.
The person like
And ends
Mario?
with brothers.
But and then they'll give a multiple choice, like fucking Who Wants to Be a Millionaire style.
Right.
Super Butthole Brothers or Super Mario Brothers.
All right. You guys ready for Cool of the Week? I'm going to struggle this week.
I can go first. I mean,
You know what?
Yeah,
I'll go
I'm
first. 'Cause
struggling.
mine sucks all the time.
okay.
Oh
And
boy.
this one is a very old one.
Okay.
I watched Book of Eli. It actually didn't suck. It was pretty awesome. I love the fucking movie.
Do you see the twist now rewatching it?
Yes, yeah.
Okay.
Like not like knowing what's coming, watching it and seeing him be blind for the whole movie is actually really cool because I've never watched it like that before.
Yeah.
Right.
And it just makes him more of a badass.
Yeah. They're very, very well played
Yeah.
throughout the
Denzel
movie.
is a badass.
Especially if
I'm
you're
happy.
watching it for the first time and then that reveal at the end.
Yeah. And that was what's the girl's name from that 70s show?
Uh
Mila Kunis.
Mila
Yeah.
Kunis. Yeah.
Okay.
She was okay in this one. It was early days. Maybe she didn't quite have it.
Yeah. Wasn't fully
completely
developed yet.
Yeah. But I mean, it was serviceable. It was a good movie. I like the
Cool.
story. I like the message.
So you got a good strong Cool of the Week. That's nice.
Yeah. That's about all I've watched. Aside from the Love is Blind fiasco.
No, fuck that.
Everybody
Jesus
is like
Christ.
watching this show.
Well,
seem to
they
be.
were supposed to have like a live reunion on Sunday, and they fucked that up
Oh
royally.
no.
Yeah.
Somebody didn't show up or what?
Crashed the whole system. Like nobody could watch it.
Oh wow.
So they had like
Okay.
big parties with celebrities and shit, and they went.
That's hilarious.
Which is kind of funny, but
Ay, ay, ay.
it is what it is. That's what you get, Netflix.
It happens.
That's all I got.
You want me to jump in, Lance?
Yeah, you might as well. I'm trying to figure out if I know I've got a not so cool, so
Okay,
I'm struggling. I'm thinking.
let me start my list with my not so cool. Is a new-ish Shudder movie. I think it came out a couple weeks ago. Called Leave.
I've seen that one. I just haven't watched it.
Yeah, you can put it on that I'll watch it some other time list, Lance. It's
Okay.
so fucking boring. It's about a girl. I guess she was abandoned by her mother as a baby, and she grows up and she basically finds where her family comes from. I think it's like
Right.
somewhere in Europe. I couldn't even tell you. I was so fucking bored that I didn't even pay attention. And the whole finding of the parents and finding out what happened and all, it was fucking so. I was on my phone most of the time.
Ouch.
That's a pretty strong sign right there, man.
Yeah. So that one's a skip.
All right, I'll probably watch it anyway for October or something, but I'll like you said, I'll save it until I'm really desperate.
Let's see. Checked out the new. Went over to Screenbox as I usually do because
Yes.
been loving Screenbox lately. Checked out the Japanese remake of Cube.
I turned that on and I fell asleep. Not because of the movie. I was just tired.
I can't say that I loved it. I really can't.
It's too bad.
It's almost the same movie with a few added differences to different scenes for characters.
Yeah, it looked pretty spot on, but with like nothing but Japanese characters.
Yeah, and I can't say I liked any of the CGI elements to the movie. I kind of liked the practical effects of the original better.
Oh no, they got all CGI, huh?
Yeah, and the original kind of seemed a little bit more gritty, a little bit more realistic.
Okay.
And this one just a little too polished. I think that's the word.
I got you.
So.
Yeah, I don't think Cube was meant to be have a polished look to it, you know?
Yeah, I think if you're a fan of the original one, I say check it out. But if you're just don't really care, I think you can skip that one.
Okay.
Let's see. Went back to Shudder for my next one. Checked out Kids versus Aliens.
What'd you think?
Not a bad. It's not bad. It's really short. It's like I think it's like an hour and 15 minutes, maybe.
Okay.
It's a typical what's the genre? Kids on bikes type movie.
Yes. Yeah. That's the genre.
It takes a while to pick up. You're just kind of waiting for the aliens to come, so these kids can do battle with the aliens, which I thought was a lot of fun when it happened. A very low budget movie. But they definitely got the most out of their money with what they did, and I thought it was pretty cool. Okay. The aliens look like typical aliens that people say they've seen, so it's not like
like the Greys.
Yeah.
Okay. So it wasn't like Attack the Block then.
No. A lot of F-bombs from these little kids.
Really?
Little young kids too.
Holy shit.
Kids.
Okay.
And I thought for the most part some of them were pretty good. Some of them you could tell they just started acting. But there was one little kid, he was just fuck this, fuck that, and
that was me.
That sounds hilarious.
Kind of respected him. And I thought the main girl, which was like the older sister, I thought she was pretty badass.
Right.
She was kind of like wanted to be like a pro wrestler and helping her little brother and his friends like make their little home movies, and was kind of basically kind of a nerd, but not wanting nobody to know she was a nerd. Okay. And all that stuff that she was doing in the home movies and practicing being around, that of course comes into play when she's fighting the aliens, and I thought that was pretty cool.
All right.
And it definitely has a bully in it that you can't wait for him to get his. So
He gets sent up into the mothership and probed, huh?
he gets something bad happen to him. So. Cool of the week is a movie I found. I was searching around by other means, and it's a movie called A Lot of Nothing.
Okay.
Um,
Doesn't sound cool, but
it's
the
about
opposite of Everything Everywhere All at Once.
Yeah,
yes.
it's not really a horror. I think I would say it's more thriller drama.
Okay.
And it involves a married couple, a black married couple. They live next door to a cop who had just recently got into some trouble,
Oh boy.
taking a call, and he shoots a kid.
Okay.
And the wife is outraged, and she wants to go confront him.
Mm-hmm.
And basically, confronting him turns into this altercation where they end up kidnapping the cop. And throughout the movie, all these situations pop, like the husband's brother and girlfriend come over for dinner, and they're trying to hide the fact they got this cop tied up in the garage.
That's hilarious.
And it's interesting because, of course, there's a lot of, a
lot of nothing.
A lot of racial stuff is brought up,
right?
But it's kind of played as like, you hear some of the stuff going on and you're like, I agree with that. But at the same time, there's a lot of stuff brought up that you're kind of like, I could see it this way too,
Well, sounds pretty deep then, actually.
The main girl, she was Alexander Skarsgård's wife in Infinity Pool.
Okay. All
right. Only, I do recognize. Yeah. I do recognize the husband in something, but as soon as I seen her, I was like, "You were just in Infinity Pool." So
she did a big year.
Super hot.
Yeah, I think her name is Cleopatra Coleman.
That name sounds so familiar. I'm sure she's been in a lot of other stuff too.
Her character was definitely. There was certain things that kind of set her off that you understandably I can see why you're pissed off about things, but at the same time, it was a lot of overreaction. A couple of things. She took understandably things that you can get pissed off, and then made it a whole. I guess a lot of nothing. She took a lot of nothing.
That's the title. Okay.
Basically, when you get to the end, there's a thing that comes up about the shooting that if they would have just asked or looked into it,
right?
Basically, they made a situation a lot out of nothing because.
Oh, gotcha. Kind of like bodies, where it's just one big misunderstanding at the beginning led to tragedy.
But the way the cop played it and his attitudes towards basically black people, it kind of made it seem that way. But basically, tempers got flared, and if he would have just been able to talk about what happened, and if there was communication between the two sides, none of the events in the movie would have happened. It was a lot about nothing. A lot of nothing came out of it.
That sounds interesting. About like life.
Yes.
Right.
You know what, Phil? That's a very good way to put it. They basically they took something that you would see or hear about in life, and they put it on screen.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought it was actually a good little a movie that I don't even think I even heard of it or posted anything about it. So it was a nice little surprise. And I think
always more context.
And I think she, after seeing her in this and Infinity Pool, Cleopatra Coleman, I think we're going to see a lot of her in the next couple of years. So.
Yeah, I remember looking her up after the Skarsgård movie, Infinity Pool, but like she's done some stuff, but she hasn't ever been like
no breakout
center stage. Yeah.
We were talking about it before we started recording. She was in Last Man on Earth.
Oh, there you go.
Okay. All right.
That was like the
Well.
when I seen her in Infinity Pool, I was like, I've seen you in something. I looked her
Yeah.
up, and then
Yeah.
that show, I was like, that's where I seen you. You were the super hot one on the show.
That's right.
That Will Forte was trying to bang until.
Okay. Yeah. Instead of the super annoying one that he was stuck with at the beginning.
I think that's the only one he bangs. He has
Will
opportunity
Forte
to
was
bang.
super annoying.
Last man on earth.
He
And
has
can't
the
get laid.
opportunity to bang every woman on that show, but he
Right.
fucks it up somehow. And she was one of them. And
That's
she's
hilarious.
I love her natural accent because she's Australian. She has a beautiful
alright.
accent.
Adds a
So,
little sexiness to it, doesn't it?
I'll take
yes,
it.
it does. So
Alright.
a lot of nothing is my cool of the week.
Nice. All right. Yeah. Well, I've all right. I think I've come up with one, but I've got first I've got I'll get this one out of the way. This is my meh of the week, and TV show that I like to call the Meh Fair Witches.
Seen
Oh,
you
man.
post that.
I am so annoyed, man. It's okay to make a few changes to a book, and I understand you're trying to fit almost a 1,000-page book. The first book in the series is called The Witching Hour. It's almost 1,000 pages, and to try to squeeze that into 8 50-minute episodes, I get it. But I mean, they just like one of the major characters in the book is not even in it, and they like compress his character along with another character that's kind of like with this group called the Talamasca. And what they do is they basically, keep tabs on witches, vampires, different characters like that are living amongst us in the world. And they sort of, write about them and study them and kind of like always keep in the shadows. Yeah, they keep up with all the supernatural goings on. So there's a character from the Talamasca that's from the book, but he's kind of like merged with the love interest of the main character. Now, I don't mind seeing Alexandra Daddario. I wish maybe she'd lose her top in one of the scenes like she did in True Detective. But
yeah, that's gonna be her thing forever.
Yeah, it is, man. And I'm just
like,
so
wow,
disappointed.
you have really beautiful eyes. Can I see your titties?
She does have beautiful eyes, like that light blue, super light blue.
Yeah. With the dark hair, killer.
Oh yeah, I really wish I'd loved it more. I was super happy with the Vampire Chronicles so far, even though it's a different time period and all that. But this one is just it's so far from the source material. I'm gonna have trouble getting into it. But they're making a whole universe. So
was it something hard to translate to TV, or did
no.
you just did unnecessary changes?
I think they just did unnecessary changes for to make it fit within eight episodes,
Okay.
which is doing it a disservice. And if the rumor I hear about, supposedly Mike Flanagan's going to be doing a Dark Tower series, like the right way. So, like, if he does it, and if he needs to do at least 10 episodes a book minimum, and if he does that, I think it'll be a winner.
I think he has. It's going to be at Amazon. I think they gave him free reign. As soon as they snatched him from Netflix, they were basically like, "What you were doing at Netflix, do over here." And I
definitely trust him. There's no doubt about that. All right, my not so cool of the week. I got to see a little movie through foul means. Thank God I didn't pay for this. Brian, I think you've seen it. Philip, I don't know if you have. Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we all seen it.
Now we all have. Oh my God, what a fucking trash fire, man!
Yeah.
You guys running around like. First of all, it's only two of them. It's only Winnie the Pooh and Piglet. I understand Eeyore got eaten, but there was like Kanga and Owl and all kinds
That's
of.
what I was wondering what happened to the rest of them.
That's maybe my theory is they're gonna pop up in the sequel or they ate them.
All right. What I did like about the movie, it had some great gore and some pretty fun torture porn. And you gotta love that. You gotta love that head getting run over with the car. Although where the fuck Winnie the Pooh learned how to drive, I have no idea. But no, it's just basically a couple of guys wearing rubber Winnie the Pooh and Piglet masks with a bunch of petroleum jelly.
Yeah.
Falling out of their mouths like it was honey.
I know. From what I understand, they had a very low budget.
I'll say all the
So
blood was even CGI, Brian.
yeah, I'm expecting because it's made some money, so I think with the sequel
Well,
we'll see the practicals. I think that's
yeah,
where the
I
money's.
hope so.
The head getting squished wasn't bad though.
Yeah.
No, that
I
was
like
fun.
that part. I mean, I laughed, but
Yeah.
I thought
And Christopher
That's great.
Robin was Winnie the Pooh was whipping Christopher Robin's with Eeyore's tail.
yeah,
And he was making these big gashes with
Yeah.
just some fucking hair.
well, it's got a nail in it. Remember?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, that explains it all. Oh, I love the movie now. Thanks for explaining that for me. I just,
happy to do that.
I don't know. I guess I got kind of what I was expecting, quite frankly.
Yeah,
but,
I had fun with it because I wasn't going in thinking it was going to be a serious horror film.
Well.
It's a goofy ass slasher movie,
True.
and you get some hot chicks getting
Right.
killed by Winnie the Pooh and Piglet.
Well, I think it lost a few points for me in the fact that the chick in the hot tub never lost her top. I hate to say it.
Well, I'm sure they're listening. So with the sequel,
well,
let's have some
Yeah.
topless women.
all
I mean,
right.
To be fair, if you're gonna go low budget,
To be fair,
you got
put $1 in the box.
there it is. But yeah, if you're gonna go low budget, you kind of have to. If you're not gonna bring it with the stories and the effects, you're gonna have to hire some strippers.
like killer goats, Brian.
I won't say they're strippers, but they had some talent.
Assets.
Yeah, talented assets.
All right, I guess I got two cool of the week, so I'll save one for the end because it's kind of a shout out. But since we're talking about titties, let's keep in that misogynistic vein, shall we, gents? Let's harken back to a better time, right?
Are we gonna pretend we don't like them?
Oh no,
Everybody likes titties.
But I do want to harken back to a simpler time, folks, and I'm talking about James Bond on Her Majesty's Secret Service, which was the only George Lazenby James Bond, and I think he could have pulled it off, man. I know Sean Connery came back after this one to do one more, and then they handed it off to Nez's favorite, Roger Moore. But he didn't make a bad James Bond. I really enjoyed this one. And you gotta love it, man, when every scene, every single person in the shot is smoking.
Mm-hmm.
James Bond walks in to the office and, oh, hello, Miss Moneypenny. Let me grab your titties as I pass through. And she's like, oh, James.
Is that what happened?
No harm done. Yeah, it's very. And then, of course, he walks.
Pat on the behind as you walk by.
I think it's isn't it mandatory that at least 3 women shag Bond in each film? Is that the number?
I'd say it at least.
I think that's the minimum. But it was fun, man. So that's my cool of the week. But I'm going to give a quick shout out to a podcast that we talked about 2 weeks ago, Brian. Started listening to it, and I'm loving it. And that's Books in the Freezer.
I knew you would.
And not only do they talk about books, but they talk a lot about movies too. So
and freezers.
You guys might give it a shot. The episode that I listened to that was so good is they talked about all the horror books coming out in 2023. So I made notes on a couple of books that I definitely want to read. So it's going to help my reading list out. Trying to hit 24 books in the year. I think I'm up to 3. So as usual, running way behind. Obviously, there's going to be a graphic novels purge coming up soon to get caught up. But
books are books.
All right, another shout out to Books in the Freezer. Catch it anywhere you catch your podcast. That's it.
Those Kenmores are great.
That's right. All right, Brian. Horror headlines?
Yeah, before we get into horror headlines, I want to tell my youngest daughter happy birthday.
All right.
She is 13 now.
Uh-oh. Boy, you're in trouble.
Yeah, she was, when we started this show, she was like 6 or 7.
I remember that. Yeah. She's been on quite a few shows with us.
Yeah. She even was on a show where she said 3 words and then left. So
I remember that one.
And now everything is stupid.
Yes.
Yeah. Addison's about to turn 13 in June, one of my granddaughters. So we have that to look forward to. Ugh.
Yeah, mine too.
All right. Let's see. Horror headlines. A lot of Universal monster stuff coming out this week.
Okay.
Just we'll talk about the trailer. One of our trailers is a Universal monster.
I gotta watch that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Do that now while we talk about the news.
All right. I'm listening. I'm listening. Don't worry.
Radio
You'll
Silence.
Get it about halfway through.
Yeah,
Radio Silence. Yes.
Radio Silence, who's directed the last two Scream movies, also did what was it? With
Ready or Not.
Ready or Not. Thank you, Lance. They are, as of now, untitled. They're directing a new Universal Monster movie.
Huh.
And because they work so closely with her, Melissa Barrera, I believe is her name. How do you pronounce it? The main girl in Scream that plays Jenna Ortega's sister.
Mm-hmm.
Will be the star of it.
Interesting.
So what are all the Universal monsters? We got like Wolfman, Mummy, Dracula,
Frankenstein, Creature of the Black Lagoon, Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde.
Right.
I think I could be wrong. Somebody will probably scream at me if I am or not. I think the Hunchback.
Is that one?
I
think so. Yeah. Even Phantom of the Opera, I believe.
The Invisible Man, Phantom of the Opera.
Invisible Man, yeah.
So
okay, that's like 9 of them. That's pretty good.
I think there might be some the Bride of Frankenstein, of course.
We're missing.
But do we know what she's working on?
Is she gonna be the bride?
They haven't said. They just signed on to direct.
Just giving some options, trying to guess.
maybe they'll kick it off with Renfield, and build around that. We'll see.
Yeah, we'll talk about that.
As long as they bring back Nick Cage for Dracula, I'm happy.
They would have to, wouldn't they?
I don't know if this one counts.
I guess we're gonna find out.
Did we talk last week about the Conjuring TV series that they're making?
A little bit, I think, or maybe I read that on Facebook.
Okay, well, they are James Wan and Peter Safran, who is the head of Warner's, are developing a new HBO series based on The Conjuring.
Huh.
James Wan produced.
Well, are they going to get? They going to get the same actors?
I don't know. I was kind of thinking about it. If you kind of go with their, I guess if you go case by case and you go with their earlier cases, you might have to go with younger-ish actors.
Okay.
I guess that makes sense. Although I think I brought it up after I watched it, but there's a series on Netflix where it's like ghost hunter style, and they go to all of these places that what are their names from The Conjuring?
The Warrens.
The Warrens.
And they debunk it.
Well, no. They go there and it gets super haunted and it gets crazy and it's completely fucking ridiculous. But
it's totally fake.
I was gonna say a different word.
But you can say it. Come on. We have an E rating.
It gets a little bit wild and like it starts out and I'm like, man, I really want to believe you guys, and then they get a little too into ridiculous territory where I'm like, all right, what the fuck are you doing?
Again, a rubber mask in the background.
A whole lot of places that have been haunted by them. Well, no, they just didn't really have any proof. It was just some dude going nuts. Oh, I see the ghost. Oh my goodness. What the fuck, man? This one guy put on like a god helmet.
Oh no. Jesus Christ.
That's what he called it. It just had like fucking light over it.
Like a Thor helmet?
Nobody sat next to you at lunch, did they? Is that what the problem is?
All right. Couple more cast members join Welcome to Derry, the It prequel. Madeline Stowe and Steven Ryder.
Okay.
I know Madeline Stowe. I've seen her in many things. So.
I know Madeline Kahn.
And that one's a movie or a TV show?
TV series.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Or
I don't know if I'm going to watch it. I think I got burned with that other King TV series. You know the one I'm talking about? That. Oh, help me out here, guys. I think it was on Hulu. I don't think I made it.
What, Castle Rock?
Yeah, Castle Rock. It just let me down. Too far away from the source material.
You like Mr. Mercedes?
Yeah, love Mr. Mercedes.
Well, let's go back to Castle Rock. It can't be too far from the source material when you take all the source material and put them in the same universe, living together. Because that's never existed in his work.
I guess that's what threw me off.
Well, I have more faith in a TV series than a movie, to be honest with you, at this point.
Gotcha. Yeah, probably give it a chance.
Let's see here. This one seemed to anger a lot of people, and it was just one of them things. I was just kind of like, just hold on. It's just a TV. Kim Kardashian joins the cast.
Well, that's probably the reason.
I heard about that.
You know, she joins the next season of American Horror Story. First of all, American Horror Story hasn't been great in a long time. So
no, I kind of tapped out.
She's not ruining anything.
Yeah.
And for some reason, this will be the thing that she's good at, is American Horror Story.
That would be hilarious. Maybe they'll torture porn her. Wouldn't that?
And then for some
she'll
reason,
die immediately.
Well, I thought, what's his name was pretty good last season. Macaulay Culkin.
Oh, you're talking about the season that was 2 parts? Like
yeah.
Part of it was the vampires near the beach, and the other one was it Aliens?
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that one. I haven't watched New York, though. Have you?
I started, it was right? Too much of a, they got away from the horror aspect of the show. It became more like a police procedural, true crime, which I don't have a problem with none of that stuff. It just seemed like they were getting, from where I watched it up to, they got so far away from the horror aspect of the show.
Yeah, I forgot that show was still on.
Well, too many good shows out there to mess with that one or Walking Dead stuff anymore, you know?
Yeah, and then also with Kim Kardashian, they announced Emma Roberts was on the show, but they announced it like she had not been on like several seasons or something. Like it was a new casting.
Oh yeah, she goes back to the beginning.
Anything else?
Yeah, that's why I was like, why is everybody flipping out that she's joined the cast? She's been on like 8 seasons or something.
Yes. And she has definitely done a couple of rom-coms over the last year. How do I know that? Because I've watched them with the wife.
You had to throw in with the wife, huh?
Oh yeah, she's cute. She's a cutie. She's not a bad actress.
I don't know if there was actually a lot of news this week. I know there was going to be some. Maybe you want to pique your interest here, Lance. There's been some books that have been acquired for adaptations.
Ah, okay.
The first one, James Wan's Atomic Monster, and Amazon Studios have acquired Catherine Ryan Howard's psychological thriller 56 Days for an adaptation.
Never heard of it.
Nope.
Let's see. Alexandra Bracken's novel Lore is getting an adaptation over at Universal.
Okay.
And it's described as Hunger Games meets Greek mythology.
We really need more of that. Okay. And with kids.
That sounds.
But out of the ones I'm about to talk about here, apparently I've never heard of Lore, but when the news posted, I guess on social media, everybody was excited about that one. So
okay, I may have to go read it then.
And the last book that is getting an adaptation is Sam Ripley's horror novel, The Rule of Three, is getting an adaptation over at Screen Gems.
Wow,
I don't know what that is. I
think I've really heard of that one either, man. Wow.
So
they're digging deep.
Out of the 3 I posted on our different social media pages, Lore was the one that was the most well received. So I mean, I don't know. They always, when I posted, the book cover always says best-selling novel. So it seems like everything's a best-selling novel. But
yes.
The only one kind of sounds interesting as lore. 56 Days, I would, of course, like James Wan to be more than a producer, because I don't really know what you're doing as a... You might be doing, I was going to say, you might not be doing anything at all, but I think that's when you're an executive producer. I think that's when they just slap your name on there.
That's right.
Every time I hear the word producer, I think of Chris Rock in Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back.
That makes sense.
You executive produce me a latte, decrackinated.
Let me see if there's any other news. There was one thing we talked about it when we did our DC roundup news of the James Gunn new direction. We talked about Creature Commandos was going to be an animated series, and the cast they hired was not only going to be voice actors, but they were going to show up as live action characters in the movie.
Well, that makes no sense, but okay.
It does if the animated series is canon with the movies coming up. You want the voice actors.
I can see that.
And pretty good cast they got. Sean Gunn.
Okay.
Which is, James Gunn's brother.
Yep.
Frank Grillo, Maria Baklava, India Varma, Alan Tudyk, David Harbour, Steve Agee.
Oh, wow.
And also rumored to not be one of the main characters, but to join the show, or possibly a different DC character, is Ron Perlman.
That would be pretty cool. David Harbour and Ron Perlman together. The Battle of the Hellboys.
I think Dave Harbour loses that one.
Probably.
Even though Ron Perlman's like 85 years old.
Because Ron Perlman might actually be a gorilla.
But according to Frank Grillo, he will fuck up anybody.
Yes.
In acting.
I'd believe that.
He actually came out and said he will beat any actor up in Hollywood.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Well.
And
you might have to stand behind those words.
For some reason, when I heard that, I was like, nah. I was just like, you probably will kick majority of Hollywood's ass.
Oh, definitely 95% of them.
Yeah, like Matt Damon.
I would like to see...
That guy can't fight. His head's too big. He just falls
up. Come on. I'm talking about the Team America World Police.
I would like to see Frank Grillo and John Bernthal in like some kind of celebrity boxing match.
Yes. That would be great. Yeah.
Bring back celebrity death match.
Oh, God. With real people instead of claymation.
You ever play the video game?
I think I did a couple times.
Nothing like the show.
No. The show was fantastic, though.
I love the show.
Double checking here. Nope, that's pretty much all the news. I know there's going to be some big news regarding the new Insidious movie that we'll be talking about next episode. So
looking forward to it. The Red Door, right?
The Red Door. Insidious, the Red Door.
Until you remember that the last Insidious movie was that stupid key one.
Which thankfully, from what I understand, I think we're supposed to this is a sequel to the original two. So
that's kind of what I figured.
Forget that one existed.
Didn't somebody's finger turn into a key and they sodomized someone with it or something like that? Or
I don't remember that.
Or did I have a weird version?
You might, because that's something I think would stick in my memory.
Okay. All right, boys, y'all ready to go down to the park while I watch and you guys start talking? Brian, bring us the big, the small, and the very, very weird.
I guess I should have had it pulled up before we even...
That's cool. I still got to watch them, so take your time.
We can talk about the sodomy key again if you want.
Yeah.
Uh-oh. They don't have like a volume down where, you have to try a bunch of different ones.
All right. The first one we are going to talk about, like I said, big week for Universal Monsters is The Last Voyage of the Demeter, based on the single chapter of The Captain's Log from Bram Stoker's classic 1897 novel Dracula. The story set aboard the Russian schooner Demeter, which
Okay.
was chartered to carry private cargo. Come on, IMDb. Private cargo.
And a vampire.
Yeah. Yeah.
All the sailors that died on the way to London. That's the breakdown.
Okay.
Basically, it's
Not
a movie
prepared.
about that story in the book.
Yeah, they changed the name of the ship in the 1931 movie. Did y'all notice that?
Yeah. This is directed by Andre Overdahl, which you guys have probably seen some of his movies. Troll Hunter.
Okay.
The Autopsy of Jane Doe.
Not a bad one.
What was that one we did for Halloween? Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark.
Not a great one.
Yeah.
Okay.
I rewatch it. Rewatch it for Halloween.
I watched it twice in the theater. That's enough for me.
I don't know why you did that, but
Well, because I went to see it, and then a week later, my grandson was in town, and he wanted to see it. So, what am I going to say?
Probably enjoyed it more than you did.
Probably so.
This stars Corey Hawkins, Alicia Fergosi, Liam Cunningham, David Dalshmitchin,
Sure.
Polka Dot Man.
Oh, okay. I recognize him. I'm looking at it right now.
And a bunch of other people. Bill, what'd you think of Last Voyage of the Demeter?
Yeah, I didn't know what it was when I clicked on it, and I was like, demons on a ship? This sounds awesome. And then like a few seconds into the trailer, I realized what they were doing, and I was like, oh, I know what this is. That's cool. I can see that. Like, they better have some really badass kill scenes, I think.
I'm sure they will.
Yeah, and it needs to be like really dark and demonic. Like, there is a demon on the ship, right? And I think if they go that route, which it looks like they are, it could be really cool. I mean, because you already know what the ending is.
That's what I was thinking. Do we really need this movie? I mean, we kind of know how it ends, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but
and it's going to end with Renfield coming up the stairs, but it's got Nicholas Holt's face superimposed.
I kind of want to see it because visually we never really got this story in the movie. It just basically Dracula went on this ship and went to where he was supposed to go, and you just heard about all the tragedy that happened on the ship. But now we can see what happened. I don't know if I necessarily remember I think some people lived. Like
maybe
a couple.
Yeah,
maybe
maybe
like a buddy comedy where they kill everybody, and then Dracula and Renfield have to figure out how to navigate the ship to the rest of the way to London.
Jesus Christ!
Isn't it Cage again?
maybe Rose jumps off onto a door and Jack tries to get on and she kicks him in the face and he freezes in the water, right?
Which I don't know if we talked about it. Debunked.
Yeah.
They both could have fit on there.
We did talk about it. I remember that.
That scene always made me mad. I always like, there's enough room for both of them on it.
Because Rose is a whore.
Look out, there may be somebody behind you, Philip.
Oh, not that one.
And then she throws the diamond in the ocean.
Yes.
I hate that movie.
That's because she knows she's wrong.
But yeah, I think it's do we need the movie? No, but will it be entertaining? I think it will be. It looks like a lot of nice practical effects. I like the look of Dracula because the form we see him in, he looks like more monstrous creature.
Sure.
So we probably might get him in that stage when he hasn't fed enough to where he's more monster than human.
Yes.
So, and the cast looks great. The people I recognize in there that I know, like Dr. Dre, the guy that played Dr. Dre, is in there. Liam, I like Liam Cunningham. He's good. So I think it'll be a fun watch. If it goes on the schedule, I don't know what we'll pair it with. Since
you'll find something, you always do.
Horror at sea.
Yeah, because I kind of don't want to do the Dracula thing again.
Yeah.
Although this was a perfect pairing for the movies that we did today.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Which
this
I
is
thought was
pretty much a direct sequel.
which I thought was a smart choice on their behalf to release the
Yes.
trailer
Yeah.
this week. So, and I got it in the theater, and it looked pretty cool on the
Right.
big screen. So,
Oh, I didn't.
Well, we'll be there. We'll be there for sure.
this comes out August 11th.
Okay.
And on to our final trailer, which I'm going to say right now, I think this might be this year's Smile as the
Yeah?
surprise indie horror film.
Could be.
Talk
And
to
that-
talk to me, right?
Talk to Me.
Okay.
Synopsis is, why is IMDb killing me with these giant synopsises? When a group of friends discover how to conjure spirits using an embalmed hand, that's creepy. It's
What
an
the
actual,
fuck?
it's an actual hand. Thought it was
Oh
a
my
statue.
God.
They become hooked on the
How
new
did they
thrill
get
until one of them goes too far and unleashes terrifying supernatural forces.
Huh.
And this is directed by, come on, IMDb. Sorry, everybody, my phone. Danny Philippou and Michael Philippou, which I didn't realize. I guess
Okay.
they have a YouTube channel called Raka Raka, and I guess
Okay.
they are like big YouTubers that wrote a script.
Wow.
And A20. This is an A24 film, and I guess it's seen as
this gives this. I'm watching it. This gives me a bodies vibe. Speaking of that movie.
yeah, the tone of the cast and stuff. I could see that.
Yeah, but it doesn't seem quite as comedic.
I with this movie,
Yeah,
I hope
definitely
it's
not
not comedic. I hope it's not.
I mean, A24, that's going to give it some credit right there.
Right.
I mean, just the fact that they're involved. But
Yeah,
YouTubers wrote the script. I'm like, Although,
well, everybody has to start somewhere. So
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, how many scripts have we written just talking here right now?
hey, there's been movies we were like, well, this and this should have happened, and I was just kind of like, I'm sold on that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But as far as Talk to Me, I think it looks creepy. I think reading the synopsis and finding out it's an actual embalmed hand that they're using to do these conjurings, that's kind of fucking creepy, and it seems like something you shouldn't be messing with.
A bit fucked up, is it?
Yeah, I mean, I see how the movie's going to where she thinks she's speaking to her mother, which clearly she is not. She just, as they said in the movie, we might have left the door open and not closed it.
Mm-hmm.
The old bait and switch.
The great deceiver.
But I think if it plays out the way I think it is in my head, I think this could be this year's like Smile or whatever independent Barbarian, basically a movie we didn't see coming.
Now, having said that, if the A24 part hadn't been in the title, I would be like, man, this kind of looks like,
cheese.
Every other generic horror movie that comes out.
Right.
But
well, we said that about Smile, remember?
Yeah.
Lance hated the trailer for Psycho Gorman.
Oh yeah, and I love the
Psycho
movie.
Psycho Gorman was great.
Love the movie. You've probably seen that a dozen times, man.
You were standing firm that you were not going to watch that movie, and then you watched it, and you were like, "This movie's great."
Just like I'm standing firm that Cocaine Bear is going to be in my bottom 10 this year. Am I right, Brian?
So I
think it's already out.
I didn't watch it, but Cocaine Bear's on Peacock, and they also released a documentary about the actual story.
So.
That's got to be boring as hell.
Yeah, so
not quite as interesting. I think he just ate a bunch of cocaine and died. But
So if anybody has Peacock and they haven't seen the movie, you can watch the movie and then watch the actual story of how the cocaine got there, and because it just doesn't seem like a great plan to just be throwing bricks of cocaine out of the plane over a forest.
Yeah, not a good idea.
The bear would eat it all, though.
Well, somebody's gonna find it. I know what I would do if I found it. I'd be It'd be like that movie True Romance. I'd be trying to sell it and end up in a shootout in the end.
Living where I lived, I've had bears in my trash, and they would eat anything they think is food.
That's true. They had
powdered sugar mixed with cocaine. The next
they had
trend.
to dig it open to get into it.
Right.
They're damn well gonna eat all of it.
And don't bother yelling at them. They're not gonna get up and leave.
Right.
I've had many bears. I've cussed out many bears in my trash, and they just looked at me and then went back to doing what they were doing. Like, basically,
you gotta throw shit at them and then run inside real fast.
No, I'm not doing that one. But talk to me. Look, kind of sounds like we're all somewhat looking forward to it. So.
Yeah, looks interesting, man. Yeah, it's
definitely worth a shot.
Worth a shot.
Let me see. Is there a release date? I know it was supposed to come out this year.
I think at the end it said June something.
Come on, July 28th.
All right, there you go. June, July. What's the difference?
Resisting the urge for another Jay and Silent Bob quote.
Go for it, man.
Too late now.
Well, on that note, that is our last trailer.
All right. Listener feedback. This week, we shine the podcast spotlight on the Horror Stands podcast. Welcome to the Horror Stands podcast. Join the horror novice Matt and horror expert Steve as we dive into a new film every week. With Steve's knowledge and Matt's fresh take, we hope to provide something for everyone. So grab a drink, sit back, relax, and let's talk about horror movies. Sounds awesome. Horror Stands.
STANS, right?
Yeah, Stan like
Stan Lee.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah, that too. Regarding Hannibal Legion podcasts, says great show and amazing. It was on NBC Public TV, not cable, with its content. Subscribe to your Patreon just to listen to your discussion. Looking forward to the next episode.
Thank you.
Well, thank you, Guy at Legion Podcasts.
That's a lot of people to thank, man.
Brian posted a poll in the group. Which franchise should we cover next? So far, Final Destination is leading the pack. So get out there and vote.
As well it should.
I kind of can't believe we haven't done that already.
we haven't done a single one of them, have we?
Yeah.
I thought we may have done the first one, but yeah, I don't think
we.
I think we were kind of, because we talked about on the news that they're rebooting it. I think we were kind of waiting.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
I gotta get that spreadsheet together, Brian, of every film we've covered, so we don't.
Yeah, it's starting to be a lot. I can't.
It's starting to be a lot.
Well, who's gonna notice if we cover one twice?
Yeah, we're coming up on 8 years together in May.
If we don't,
how time flies.
I can't imagine they will.
Is it 8 years?
I think so, if my math is correct, because I was going off the date that that terrible Kevin Bacon movie came out. That was our first movie review.
When we did a disservice by pairing it with Poltergeist.
That's the one. We should have paired it with Poultrygeist, and it would have been more similar quality.
Fucking Kevin Bacon in his later years.
Uh-oh. Did you see a ghost, Phil?
I did. Sorry.
Oh,
I saw a wife. That's even worse. All right. Al Ramsour just watched The Longest Day, 1962.
Nice. That's a classic.
And Tora 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 in 1972.
Another classic.
Both
I have seen that one.
He says both 1,000,000 times better than Saving Private Ryan. Oh,
debatable, but I think a couple of people gave him like a emoji of the middle finger on that one.
I mean, listen, I don't even know that I've ever seen either one of those movies, but to say that it's 1,000,000 times better than Saving Private Ryan, I can't substantiate, but that's tough.
That's a hard one because I've never actually been in war, but I kind of felt like watching that movie in the theater at the time.
Yeah.
Kind of felt like I was there.
Yeah. It was rough.
Well, Philip, you would know, dude. You were you were an assassin, right? Weren't you like a sniper or something?
He can't talk about it. He can't talk about it.
Did you storm the beaches of Saudi Arabia or Afghanistan or whatever?
Afghanistan, storm the beaches of Afghanistan. You just keep going. It's all beach.
That's what I was going to say.
Just no water.
I do have a lot of well, I don't have it. My dad has it. My great uncle was at D-Day. And
wow.
We have a lot of like Nazi memorabilia from dead Nazis.
Oh God!
From dead Nazis. Not get myself into.
A lot of people brought that stuff back. A lot of people brought back. I don't know if it's true, but I heard a lot of people would like take teeth from their. I know the Nazis took gold teeth from the Jews, right? Right before they.
Well, they had.
killed them.
There's I think it's like a bayonet that we have that was like
oh shit
from a Nazi commander. And it's
Yikes.
like the handle is made of human bone.
Yeah, did they have a scene in Saving Private Ryan when they killed one of the Nazis? They took his knife because he was like a high ranking, so they took it as like a trophy.
Sounds familiar. Yeah, sounds familiar.
Freaking
that's what you do, man. You take the
knife. We got a couple of those. Got some good shit.
Gotta not only do you have to kill them, but you gotta shake them down too for everything they've got, right?
My dad actually used to have it in like a case. We had just a bunch of like shit that was picked up off of dead Nazis, but then he realized, I think somewhere along the years, that we have a case full of just Nazi stuff, and he's like, "Well, maybe this is not the thing to display."
Hey, we won. We won.
Yeah, but I can see what Phil's saying. That's probably something that you have to explain.
I don't think I'd put up
an explanation for everybody that comes over to the house.
I don't think I'd put up a swastika flag in my entryway, but
no, we had like armbands and fucking hats and shit that were like, I mean, it was all some of it was bloodstained, dude. It was.
I was about to say, throw a little red
soldiers.
food coloring on it. At least.
Wait, no, we were the good guys. We picked them up off the dead guys.
Jesus. Did you ever find the Ark of the Covenant, though?
No, did not.
Okay. If you do, close your eyes.
Yeah.
You guys ever see that candle that you can buy of the guy that melts?
No, but that sounds amazing.
Yeah, it's his face, and you just light it, and eventually it
melts.
Yeah.
That's great.
And on a different note, Monty Light says when a recovering drug addict named Massimo is bitten by an ancient shape-shifting monster, he must fight to save his girlfriend from the same bloody fate. Blood-covered chocolate, which doesn't sound like that movie at all.
Okay.
Is available on Tubi, Amazon Prime, and more.
I actually received a screener for that movie, so I'm gonna try to get it watched and talk about it next week.
All right.
Blood-covered chocolate.
Regarding Unseen, Kate Pollock says, "Where is this showing?"
Brian?
And Cindy Sanabria wants to know how it was.
Did I talk about this one last week?
It was kind of bad, didn't you?
No, I liked it. I liked it.
Okay.
I think it was the one. If I'm remembering, I watch a lot of movies. They get jumbled in my head. I think it was the one where the girl accidentally calls somebody that she doesn't know, and she's running from her boyfriend, and she's lost in the woods, and she doesn't have her glasses, and she can't see. And basically, the girl on the other line is FaceTiming her. She's her eyes.
Okay, I do remember you talking about that one.
It is
by nefarious means.
Yeah,
it's available for rent at least. Or
yeah, we don't promote that. We're not.
But it may be VOD somewhere.
Yes, I think everywhere.
Okay.
But I post movies that I watch in our Facebook group, and I noticed on the poster it said MGM Plus. I am not paying for MGM Plus, but if you have it, I think eventually it'll be on there. I think it's worth the time. It's very it moves very quick. I think it's about an hour and 20 minutes. It gets right into the story, and I don't remember it got to a point where it ever really slowed down. A couple points it may have, just to get kind of a little backstory on the characters, but I think if you ain't got nothing to watch, I wouldn't put it over bigger releases. Like, you need to get to this movie right away. But
okay,
if you see it and you have an opportunity to watch it and you have the time, yeah, go ahead.
All right.
There's your review.
And let's welcome our new Facebook group members, Kitty Rage. Great name.
Yes.
Sounds like a stripper. Awesome.
That's
Like one that I'd be really into. Kathy Rawlings, Jessa Daisy, Sarah Jane Loberg, Jeff Moore, and Stephanie Stensrud.
All right.
Stensrud.
Welcome, guys. Welcome.
You said Jessa Daisy, right?
Yes, Jessa Daisy.
Okay, I want to read something. She is a part of a movie that is coming out.
Oh, awesome.
Okay.
Called Demon Queen 2. The Indiegogo launches this Sunday, April 16th. So by the time you hear this, the Indiegogo to support the film will be out. There's quite a few people that are involved in the project that are in our Facebook group. So basically part of the family. So
very nice.
You want to support the I haven't seen the Indiegogo yet. I'm sure they have a lot of perks and different levels, like our Patreon, which we are having a contest for that. So support independent horror.
What's the movie name again?
Demon Queen 2, and from what I'm reading, FX makeup genius Jesse Seitz, who's worked on Jacob's Wife. We've all seen Jacob's Wife.
Oh, great movie.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, great movie.
We'll be doing the effects for Demon Queen 2.
Awesome.
The makeup effects, so support that one.
All right.
All right. Support them. And Jessa Daisy, thank you for joining our nice little group here. I'm sorry I called you a stripper, Kitty. That's it for listener feedback. Our show and our intro and our new logos come from Steve Carlton from the Geeks. Wore this hat just for you there, buddy. And be on the lookout for some more great stuff from Steve. Our original skull artwork comes from Natsulani, so check her out on Instagram. And if you'd like to help us out, please consider becoming a Patreon patron. We'll let you pick the movies for a future show at any amount, and for $5 or more a month, also pick a commentary for a future bonus show. But wait, there's more. I think we still have a contest going on, where for any amount, you get to pick a commentary and some movies.
That's right.
Is that right?
Still going on.
It'll only cost you $1.
Can I get $1?
And
how much for one rib?
Just help a brother. How much for one rib?
And going back to Steve, I know you're not a wrestling fan, but check out the latest Wrestling Returns. Nez said a lot of special things about the 49ers.
Oh, very nice. Very
just
nice.
For you. Just for you.
Because unfortunately, one of them was involved at WrestleMania.
Well, our friend Jay Black is also a 49ers fan.
As I think Stephen Loblad is.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, you got to give him a little credit for the football team, because there's like human feces all over the street.
Oh my God.
I'm not familiar with the player that Nez was talking about. He kept calling him McGriddle.
Okay, not McGruber.
So,
well, there's that.
Check it out, Steve.
All right. And on to our featured attractions. This week we get to the theater again for Renfield and check out the OG 1931 barely out of silent film era Dracula. barely. I think the first movie that had sound was like 1927 or 28.
Oh my God! Wow. Well,
So we'll definitely start with that one. Some trivia. Transylvanian vampire Count Dracula bends a naive real estate agent to his will, then takes up residence at a London estate where he sleeps in his coffin by day and searches for potential victims by night.
and pimps by night.
Directors are Todd Browning, also known for Freaks, and Carl Freund, also known for Freund. I don't know.
Your great uncle might have one of his hats.
I know, right? You went on the wrong side, motherfucker. Writers are Hamilton Dean and John L. Balderston, based on a work by Bram Stoker, of course. After playing Renfield, Dwight Fry would find himself typecast. Is that a type?
Yeah.
He found himself restricted to playing eccentric or jittery characters that had a manic edge to them, or criminal lunatic types. Well, that's not necessarily a bad thing.
Always working.
Dracula never once blinks his eyes, an effect that enhances the undead character's otherworldly aura, abetted by Bela Lugosi's famous menacing stare.
Interesting.
Yeah, good stuff. 1931 Dracula. Was that the first Dracula? I think. On film.
First one I know about. Well, no, there was Nosferatu.
Yeah,
that one. What year was that?
That was silent, actually. That was early 20s, maybe.
Yeah, that was before this.
Or 1918? Was it 1918? No. Let me look it up.
Dude. Great effects.
It was a while ago.
Yeah. All right. So what do we think about the 1931 Dracula? Brian, you want to start us off?
Oh, definitely a classic. Bela Lugosi as Dracula. Whether you like the film or not, the image of him as Dracula is iconic. Especially that, like you said in the trivia, that menacing stare he has.
Mm.
The accent.
With the spotlight on the eyes.
Yeah, right there. I always liked that. That was super cool. But with all that being said, as iconic as this movie is, I've never really been a big fan of Dracula, or at least the early adaptation of Dracula. Because for me, in this movie, it's all about Dwight Fry as Renfield.
Sure,
that guy is a fucking nutcase, and he plays it so good.
Yes, he does.
Crazy laugh he keeps doing throughout the movies. That love it. The scene when I think it's when they first get to London, and he's talking to Dracula outside his coffin. I think it's the scene right before they discover him down at the bottom of the ship, and that's when he first does the laugh, because he's looking up at them from the bottom of the stairs.
Bottom of the stairs
on the ship when they open it up. Yeah,
right.
And he's just kind of trying to tell them about Dracula through the whole movie, but they're like, "You're in an insane asylum, you nutcase. We ain't listening to you."
Yeah,
right.
This guy eats bugs.
Which we'll get to the eating bugs in the next movie. But I kind of felt like everybody else. I say maybe Dracula, Renfield, and Van Helsing. I thought all their acting was pretty solid, but everybody else was kind of like the actress that played Mina. Kind of losing me every time she opened her mouth and said words.
Kind of milk toast, wasn't she?
Yeah, she's kind of flighty.
Like later on when she becomes a vampire and she's trying to bite Jonathan Harker. Just her whole dialogue, I'm just like, can you be like the Brides of Dracula where they don't say anything? Right. They just like stand there.
Right.
But yeah,
I liked her friend better, actually, as an actress.
Oh yeah, sure.
Lucy.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was better. The nurse had funny dialogue, especially with the. I don't know what he was. Was he like a orderly or something?
I guess.
The guy was like, everybody's in here is crazy. And then he looked at her, including you, and she was like, uh-huh. and then he just backed away slowly with his shotgun. It had some comedic moments in it that
right.
It had comedic moments that early when I first watched it, I wasn't really expecting to see that in this film, because a lot of it's kind of taken seriously, even though some of the acting's kind of, it is what it is.
Sure.
But super iconic film, part of a iconic legacy of Universal monsters, and yeah, I don't really know much more to say. The story was pretty much straightforward. He comes to London and he's trying to, I don't know, get with women and eat them and drink their blood. And I don't know, just
women, men, it doesn't matter.
Honestly, I don't know. Just really coming out of this rewatch, I just really enjoyed the Renfield character more than I enjoyed Dracula.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just thought the way what's his name? Dwight Fry really just played this character.
But Brian, do you think maybe that's because you were knowing the other movie we were going to see, you were maybe focusing more on Renfield this time, or did he really steal the show that much?
I mean, Bela Lugosi as Dracula he does a great job, but it's just he doesn't have that many lines in the movie.
Right.
I don't know.
He plays it pretty stone-faced. He's kind of one note.
Well,
yeah. I mean, there's kind of levels to Renfield in this movie. You get when he's a real estate agent, so you kind of get regular Renfield.
Then
you get Renfield that's kind of turned into his familiar. Then you get Renfield who goes to the asylum, and he's kind of just trying to tell everybody what's going on, but they're not really. And I don't know what kind of asylum this is, because he kept getting out.
Just like the ones we got now, apparently.
Not very high security, huh?
So, to me, there was kind of just levels in Dwight Fry's performance as his character. So, sure. I just, you might be right, Lance. It might be my anticipation for that character to have basically his own movie kind of made me focus on him. But I thought it was a great character and a great job done by the actor.
All right, Lance, what do you think?
I think this movie did a great job with what it had to work with, especially with the setup. And there's little details that they really paid a lot of attention to. Like, for example, when Renfield was showing up in the village, I noticed that they were speaking in a foreign language. I think they went out of their way to purposefully not show subtitles. And I think that was to kind of throw you off, to put you in his mindset, like you're, out of your element, fish out of water. You're not really, he was just so like, he had no idea what he was getting into, just super naive, right? So he goes and thinks that he's going to, make this deal or whatever on this great castle and make a shitload of money, nice commission check or whatever. And I guess this was back like during the Depression, wasn't it? Like in the 30s, or we were just starting to get into the Great Depression. So it was kind of some hard times back then. I know it was in America. I'm assuming it was the same way in Europe, but I don't know. There was a lot of great cinematography. I always love that line when you first meet Dracula and you hear the werewolves in the distance or whatever they are. And he's like, "Children of the night, what sweet music they make," And I don't know. I thought his acting was great, man. And I don't know if it's true. I tried to watch a couple episodes and see if it was the case, and I don't ever really remember her seeing her blink. But like in the series Friday, I heard that in a lot of her scenes, she purposely didn't blink. Have you guys ever heard that before? Like to have more creepy look. Wednesday, Jenna Ortega.
I'm sure.
Yeah, that would make sense.
Yeah, there was I think I caught her blinking once. Because my wife said, "Hey, watch this." I heard that she purposely doesn't blink in certain scenes to throw you off. So I guess maybe she was inspired a little bit by this. I didn't notice it until you guys talked about it in trivia. I'll have to go back and watch it again. I think he did a great job. And man, you talk about a fucking pimp, man. This guy's got 3 fucking wives. They know their place. They're quiet. They're quiet. They're just there to be fed on.
Yeah, they really don't play much of a part in the movie.
They don't play much of a part, man. And then you've got then like you said, he gets to London and starts pimping some more, and macking on Lucy, and then the other chick Mina, and like fuck everybody else. It's just like he takes what he wants. We're like having the most misogynistic show we've ever done tonight, I think, with this talk. But I don't know, man. It is what it is. That's the movie. It's a different time. As Nez would say, it was a different time, boys and girls.
It's not like he was slapping bitches.
Well, off camera, maybe he was. I don't know. he might have had some of those shoes with fish inside of them that he walked around with a big jacket or something and a cane. But
if anybody gets mad, we're not condoning anything. It's just jokes. Different time, different place for some of these movies. Get over it.
Oh man, no, it was. I thought it was good. It was well directed. Like you said, some of the acting was definitely wooden. I would agree. The main actress, they could have picked someone better. That was, oh my God, here we go again. that was a casting couch decision, I think.
No, it's just her delivery of the lines was just so over, like you can, well, it was a dramatic scene, but it's just like she was like over dramatic.
I know, overacting it big time.
Especially the scene where she's about to bite Jonathan, and he just happens to be holding a cross, and she's just and then turns away all dramatically. And...
Yes. I got you, man.
Although
that third act
thing, though, because Bela Lugosi did it a couple times too. He went in for Renfield, and then he saw the cross, and he was like,
right, yeah. I don't know, man. To me, the movie started out great. It got a little bit slower, and then once he got over to London, once you got into that third act, I got lost a little bit. So I don't know, man. I know it's iconic and all that, but probably not my favorite of the Universal monster movies, I would say. But still a treat. Still a treat.
I still like the Invisible Man.
That's a great one, dude.
Actually...
and The Fly. Don't forget The Fly. That was
The Fly. Well, the Invisible Man, I just like when he goes crazy. And of course, you don't see him running through town, but he's like kicking over like baby carriages.
That's a great one. That has so much comedy in it, man. So much comedy. They knew what they were doing. And then, of course, you got Abbott and Costello meeting all of them in later movies, which is hilarious. But
Frankenstein's a great one.
Right?
That's one we haven't gotten to yet. We haven't done a lot of...
We did The Mummy. We did The Mummy.
I hate The Mummy.
Bride of Frankenstein is the best sequel of all time. It's written in stone. It won the March Madness contest. So.
Controversially, it won. Not a lot of happy people with that one.
Or with the Darth Vader, but
Yes, Darth Vader is the greatest horror villain. Hey, we don't pick who's in the bracket.
No, we don't. The guest pick, and we go from there. Everybody has an equal vote.
That was my suggestion. Sorry.
Democracy in action. It's all right.
This one, Dracula. It was 1931, so it's a long time ago, right? There's a lot of detail in it, and I'll definitely give them that. It's very theatrical because it seems to be based on, more
kind of like a stage
play performances, right?
Sure.
But there's a whole scene where he's reading a contract.
Right.
Right. You could cut 45 minutes out of this movie and you wouldn't
come on.
anything.
It'd be a 15-minute movie. It was only an hour and 10 minutes. Jesus.
It felt like it was 6 hours.
Philip.
Maybe it's because there's no music or something. I don't know.
He's not wrong because I saw the runtime. When I used to watch movies, I never ever paid attention to the runtime.
Yeah.
And when I was gonna watch this movie, it was kind of late, and I was like, "Well, let me see the runtime. I'll see if I'm gonna be able to stay up and watch it." And I saw the runtime. I'm like, "Oh, okay, I can watch this." But it did seem to just go on and on. I'm just like, "Fucking bite somebody or something."
I know it was no dragged a lot.
it was no dash cam, was it?
Oh, dash cam. I still like that movie. That movie
kind of hilarious, right?
That movie moves.
Well, there's just a lot of silence and dead time in this movie. spent walking across the room, and I'm like, what are we doing? Can we not cut this shit out?
But no Jay and Silent Bob. Oh, wouldn't it be great if Universal did Jay and Silent Bob meet, and they could do the Man, the Invisible Man,
like they did Abbott Costello, but just
Yeah.
Jay and Silent
Wouldn't
Bob.
that be great?
I would watch every single one of those.
Oh hell yeah, I'd definitely watch that.
See, we're creating movies at the Horror Returns.
Yes.
They'll never see the light of the day, but we're creating them.
Well, if we put it out in the universe.
The carpet match, does the carpet match drapes?
I'm sure Dracula's asked that many a time.
Could you imagine a movie where Jay's trying to hit on the Bride of Frankenstein?
Oh God. Yes, I could.
Or
I'm visualizing it right now.
I just created you can connect it with the other movie. Who plays his baby mom? What's her name? Shannon Elizabeth. Is it Shannon Elizabeth?
Oh,
was in there, yeah.
And she's not the nicest person. She doesn't do podcasts.
She can die in the movie, and Jay can bring her back, Bride of Frankenstein style.
Bride of Frankenstein.
There you go.
Style.
There you go.
Connected to the universe.
But she still won't do our podcast, right, Philip? Couldn't get an interview.
She might after that. We came up with a pretty great idea.
Yeah,
We gotta get in touch with Kevin Smith.
Make her relevant again.
Got you a job, Shannon. You're welcome.
But yeah, no, I mean, it still was great. Don't get me wrong. I do have the criticisms for it, and most of that probably comes from it being 1931. But you know, there's movies like The Invisible Man that still really hold up.
Oh yeah.
And I don't hate The Mummy. Bela Lugosi was awesome. It just it felt really long. There was a lot of downtime in this movie.
And when it's an hour and 15 minutes, that's saying a lot.
Is it an hour and 15 minutes? There's no way.
I think so.
This movie had to be at least 2 hours.
It's not 2 hours, I guarantee you. Because I watched it during my lunch break, man.
Because they go through a lot of story, too.
Yeah, they kind of do, don't they?
Yeah.
But at a snail's pace.
It deserves credit because it goes through a lot of story quickly, but makes you feel like it's going slowly at the same time.
It is.
Like this fucking bat. Is this bat?
An hour and 15 minutes, guys.
No, it's not. An hour and 15 minutes? Is that real?
Hour and 15 minutes.
Oh, man, I thought it was longer than that. I had to try 3 times to watch this fucking movie. Because the first time I turned it on, I'm like, I'm really not in the mood for this shit right now.
25 minutes a pop.
I'm telling you, anytime Mina came on and started talking, you probably are like, oh, I gotta go see what the kids are doing. Or
yeah, there's got to be something better on. All right, scores. Brian, what'd you think?
Well, I don't want to keep bashing on her, but Mina was garbage in this. But Bela Lugosi was good, and we didn't really bring up. I thought Edward Van Sloan as Van Helsing. I thought he was pretty good in it.
Yeah,
sure.
But for me, Dwight Frye as Renfield was the standout, and
I agree.
For 1931, you know, the effects of everything and certain things they did with the lighting, like Phil, you brought up with the light over his eyes and him not blinking, that just added to his whole mystique of being Dracula, being the undead.
Set design, fucking fantastic.
Set design. A little bit of the comedy there I brought up with the people that worked at the asylum. That was kind of unexpected, something I didn't remember.
Yeah, I got a goofball.
Not my favorite Universal monster movie, but I do respect the legendary aspects of the character and the movie, and it should probably be a higher score, but I'm gonna give it a 7.
Not bad. Not bad at all, man. 7's commendable, respectable.
That's all right. I'll take all the hate mail. Lance, what do you think?
6.5. It's easy. Two-thirds good, man. The first 2 acts were great. Third act to me just fell apart and dragged and got slow, and yeah, 6.5. 2/3 good.
They didn't even show him killing Dracula.
It could have been. I think Hammer did it better when they did their Dracula.
They only had 1 hour and 15 minutes.
They could have taken out the scene of him reading the fucking lease.
You know what other scene they could have taken out or could have shortened? When he meets Renfield and they just stare at each other from the top of the stairs.
For 15 minutes.
Or one of the 15 times he just walks across the room with no dialogue and no music.
Stage play.
I'm going to give this one, being generous, I'm going to give it a 6.
Oh, that's not bad. I thought you were going to do 4 on 10 there for a minute.
No.
Okay.
I still I appreciate what it was at the time, and it is definitely iconic. Bela Lugosi as Dracula. I mean, they set the stage for everything that was to come. You know? So they definitely, what's the word I'm looking for here? Gave the
iconic
a lot of other artists, right?
Yes,
fair enough.
Well said.
I try to put a new poll question every Monday in the Facebook group.
Yeah.
I'm interested now. I'm gonna put who's your favorite Universal monster, and I'm confidently I'm gonna say that Dracula's not gonna win. I know
it depends on who's watched the movie.
I think it'll be Bride of Frankenstein.
I think it's an iconic character, and everybody knows him, but I don't think it's everybody's favorite Universal monster movie.
The movie, maybe not, but the character, on the other hand,
I think it's gonna
totally different animal.
I think Frankenstein or the Wolfman, or maybe even Bride of Frankenstein. I think one of those is gonna win.
Yeah, Wolfman was great.
We'll find out.
You remember the Dark Universe that they were trying to do?
Yeah.
They wanted The Rock to be the Wolfman.
Really?
Or not be the human version, but when he turns into
a bald Wolfman.
Oh, they were gonna put hair all over him, and he was gonna be the Wolfman. That sounds. I kind of have to see that now.
I'd like to see that too.
Some of the casting I was cool with, like Angelina Jolie was gonna be the Bride of Frankenstein.
Okay.
Yeah, that works.
She could pull it off.
Scarlett Johansson was gonna be the lead actress in the what is it? Creature of the Black Lagoon. She was gonna be the girl that.
Okay.
Javier Bardem as Frankenstein, I thought would have worked.
Perfect. Yeah.
Oh well.
They totally could have pulled this off. It was just that stupid Mummy movie was so bad.
Yeah, where Tom Cruise could have been. They should have made him Van Helsing or a descendant.
Yeah. maybe Renfield will give us fresh blood. We'll bounce off that.
Well, let's get into it.
We'll see. All right. So we'll move on to Renfield.
We'll see.
So Dracula was, it's all right. Renfield. Renfield, Dracula's henchman and inmate at the lunatic asylum for decades, longs for a life away from the Count, his various demands, and all of the bloodshed that comes with them. Director is Chris McKay, also known for the Tomorrow War and the Lego Batman movie.
Oh, there you go.
Those could not be more different.
Not Adam McKay.
Writers are Ryan Ridley and Robert Kirkman.
Kirkman.
Even with the long history of turning down big movies if it doesn't center on his character, Nicolas Cage, is that real?
I don't know.
That seems kind of biased.
Could be.
I don't know, because it kind of seems like he takes whatever role.
I know.
Right?
What kind of propaganda am I reading here? All right. Well, we'll read it. I'm pretty sure it's
we already know from some past guests that IMDb is not always accurate.
Yeah.
Well, B is in close contact with Nick.
Yes.
B, let us know. Is this true?
So even with a long history of turning down big movie roles if it doesn't center around his character, Nicolas Cage, agreed to play Dracula as if it was a lifelong dream for him, and he loved the comedy parts in the script.
All right.
Oh, okay.
I really feel like that whole sentence was very biased. I don't like it.
Yeah,
Little
it
biased,
sounds like
yeah.
the first part of that is not believable, but the last part of A Lifelong Dream of playing Dracula, I believe that.
Yeah.
That's believable.
The featured castle is called what? Neuschwanstein.
There you go.
And is
That was a lot
located,
better than what I was going to say. So.
Yes.
is located in Bavaria, Germany. It's also featured in Chitty Chitty Bang Bang and is open to the public. It's not as old as it looks, though, because it was completed around 1886.
That's pretty old. Still.
That's pretty old.
For us, yeah, for us it is.
Yeah.
I thought you were going to say it was made of human bones by the Nazis, but okay.
No, that's the freaking catacombs in France, right?
Yeah.
It's like made of human bones.
Yeah.
There's some weird shit around the world.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
All right, Brian, what'd you think about Renfield?
I had a little bit of doubt coming into this movie. I am a Nick Cage fan. I do like Nicholas Hoult. I know there's some people now all of a sudden don't like Awkwafina because of the way she talks or sounds. Mm-hmm. I like Awkwafina. I think she's
I've always liked Awkwafina. I've never understood the problem with her.
Yeah, she's not doing a black accent. It's where she grew up.
It's just how she talks.
Yeah, so get over it. With that all being said, I thought the whole aspect of centering the film around Renfield, I didn't know how it was going to play out. So I had my doubts coming in. But when I came in and by the end of the movie, I had a lot of fucking fun with this movie. Is it the best of the year? No. Is it one of the funniest movies I've seen? Yes, because I didn't think it was going to be so comedic. I didn't think it was going to be as action-packed as it was, because Renfield kicks a lot of fucking ass in this movie. And I didn't even know what the rating was this movie, but by the 15th time they said fuck in the first 5 minutes, I was like, okay, I know.
Yeah.
Where we're going. But for it being a Renfield movie, man, did Nick Cage steal the movie as Dracula?
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, he was just hamming it up. You can tell reading in the trivia about him wanting to always play Dracula and then finding the comedic points of the character interesting.
Well, and they even remade some of the old scenes.
Yeah.
Sure they did. Yeah.
Like the down the hallway with the light on the eyes.
Yeah, they superimposed the faces.
This might be a little bit of a spoiler, but you don't need to watch the original film. They perfectly encapsulate the movie in like a little 2-minute montage of scenes.
Which it could have been, right, Philip? Could have been a 2-minute movie.
Right. They could have cut that shit in half. But I'm glad that I did watch it before I watched it.
Yeah, me too. That was awesome. That added an element to it for sure.
But Awkwafina, I thought she was funny in this, and she was kind of playing the character more straightforward than she usually does.
Mm.
You know, playing a cop, you know, or surrounded by, you know, corrupt cops in her force. I thought the one guy, what is his name? Ben Schwartz as Teddy.
Okay.
Teddy Lobo. I thought he was hilarious because
the guy from Parks and Rec. I love that guy.
He's playing this kind of. He's part of a mafia type family.
A lot of shades of Cocaine Bear in this movie.
Yeah, he's part of this mafia family, and he tries to play it off like he's tough, but he's kind of a pussy through most of the movie.
It's exactly like if his character from Parks and Rec was in the mob.
Okay.
Okay, there you go. Makes sense then. He's in character, just like Renfield.
I love all the callbacks to all the Dracula or vampire lore. And then they kind of added to it. We'll get more into it. The whole aspect of Renfield eating bugs. They kind of made it useful in this movie. And other than the fact that him just eating bugs just because.
Eat bugs.
Yeah. I don't really know what much to say without spoiling anything. I thought it was a super fun movie.
All right, Lance.
I don't. Yeah, I won't give anything away that's not in the trailer until we get into spoilers. Because I was, like Brian, I was also pleasantly surprised, and like you too, I love Aquafina, man. There's nothing she's ever done that I haven't just loved her character, and even animated shit. She's got a great voice for animated movies.
Yeah,
She has a very
very
Dragon
distinctive.
very. When I hear her, if there was an anime movie or animated movie that I watched,
Sure.
like the next movie I watch is animated, I don't know who any of the voice cast is, I will pick her
Right.
voice out.
Like the bad guys.
Yeah.
that was a good one. That was a great cast, man. Yeah, no, it was it was a ton of fun, and you guys know I'm a sucker for anything that takes place in New Orleans.
Yeah.
And you know that if you've seen the trailer, that was very prominent. It was very obvious that it was going to be there.
I didn't really notice that in the trailer, but when I seen it in the theater, I was like, this has to pique Lance's interest as soon as I seen the background location.
Well,
Very
she's
much
got
so,
that
man.
line in the movie, which is, I guess it's not really a spoiler, where she's like, "They've got me doing DUI in a town that has drive-through daiquiri places."
That's awesome. Yeah,
it was a great, like, hey, what are we doing here thing.
Lots of comedy in this movie. It very much earned its R rating. I was shocked with the amount of gore. Very, very gleefully, pleasantly shocked with the amount of gore and the way that they pulled it off, which we'll save for spoilers. But yeah, man, AJ wasn't as impressed with it as I was. She came with me to see it. Well, she thought it was going to be serious. She said, "I didn't know this was going to be such a comedy." And
what?
Yeah, she said, "I thought this was going to be a serious story."
She not see the trailer?
I think the only thing she's seen Nicholas Hoult in is mostly more serious roles.
She's probably thinking of him from The Menu. Probably the last thing she's seen.
I think you're right. That is the last thing she saw with him in it. So I think that kind of took her aback a little bit. But yeah, one of the funnest times I've had in the theater this year so far. So will it be in the top 10? Maybe, maybe not. But enjoyable flick, man. I loved it.
Yeah, Nicholas Hoult has got some comedic chops that I kind of didn't know were there.
He's really good in that TV show The Great, where he plays Peter the Great. Yeah, he's kind of like, he's so serious that he's comedic, if that makes sense. It's like he goes full circle.
Well, he's got range because you know he did this, which was more comedic action. Right. He did The Menu, which, what's her name? Old Far Part Eyes punched him in the face. Right. I wanted to punch him in the face after the way he played it.
Old Far Part Eyes.
Even going to what's Mad Max Fury Road? Complete different character he played in that one too.
The X-Men movies.
He's got range. Right?
Oh yeah, I forgot he was in those. Yeah.
Yep.
But yeah, I was totally expecting this movie to kind of suck, because I was like,
it definitely
Nicolas Cage's Dracula. This whole, I mean, it looks like it could be really, like, it had the potential to be really bad, and it totally wasn't. It was amazing.
Mm-hmm.
I had so much fun with this movie. There were so many times where I just laughed out loud, like watching it. Whether it was because it was Nick Cage being Nick Cage, and like would do
even
something,
with all the heavy makeup at the beginning.
Yeah, would just do something goofy.
You could hear his voice though.
But still
I can't do beats Nick Cage.
Still sort of kept up that Bela Lugosi Dracula character. It was like,
sure.
It was a good like tightrope walking thing that he did there, and I loved that, and yeah, I think what's his nut did great as Renfield.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like, dude, he was completely. I mean, okay, so Nicolas Cage really stole the show, but Nicholas Hoult was really good, man. He was on point. All the comedy was pretty good. I liked his character. I liked some of the messaging that they had. You know what I mean? It was like
being a codependent.
Yeah, like the codependent stuff.
Oh, God.
Like that was
like the AA meeting.
Yeah,
it worked because everybody's mostly there for relationships, and then they think he's there because of I mean, it is his boss,
Well,
but
and that's all in the trailer. So
yeah.
Well, and then he watches Aquafina stand up to, the bad guy, even though
right.
she's like completely outgunned and outmatched. And she's just
like
standing on principle. The good guys fucking win in this movie.
She is like the rabbit in Zootopia. She reminded me of the rabbit in Zootopia, trying to make it on the police force.
That's a good
you don't have enough of that good guys win. You know what? Even in the face of danger, even in the face of everybody
stand your ground
is going to hate you. Stand your ground, or the monsters win. And I love that.
I like that. Good message.
Yeah.
Now, what did you guys think? Okay, I'm reading here. Nick Cage mentions An American Werewolf in London, 1998's Ring, and 2021's Malignant as inspirations for his role.
That makes no fucking sense at all. I have no idea what he was.
But somehow in Nicolas Cage's mind, it worked.
His mind, yeah,
it worked.
He had a lot of acid before.
Yeah, the dude definitely trips. There's no doubt he trips.
I can't even remember specifically what it was that he did, but there was this one scene, and like in the midline, he does this thing, and I can't remember what it was, but he just like makes a noise, and it made me laugh so.
It'll come back to you.
It was a lot of.
He did so great.
It was a lot of the way he delivered lines, and his body movement and stuff like that, and just like the scenes where Renfield's trying to stand up to him, and Nicolas Cage is just like, oh, poor Renfield, just kind of.
Oh yeah, so sarcastic.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was so much better than I expected it to be. I had like such a good time. Will it end up in my top 10? Maybe. I don't know, man. I had a really good time with it. Like a whole lot more than I sort of expected this to suck.
No pun intended.
Yeah. Blah, blah. All right, scores, Brian.
Right now, this is an easy 8 for me. I had a blast at the theater. I took my daughter to see it because she wanted to see Renfield and Evil Dead Rise, and I was like, well, we got one this week and we got one next week. So
thank God, some new movies, man.
Yeah, had a blast with it. I didn't think it was going to be as gory as it was with all the. I didn't. Matter of fact, I didn't even expect the action to be that much as it was.
Shit, action was amazing.
Yeah,
really.
There was especially one scene towards the end. I'm sure we'll talk about
in the motel.
And with the action, I was like, dude, I was dying laughing while they were doing the action scene. I was like, this is fucking great.
Yeah, it's so much more than I expected.
Had so much fun with it. It is a perfect blend of horror, action, and comedy. I thought the cast was great. Even the little side actors like the Lobo family, the mother of the Lobo family with that crazy raspy voice. Yeah.
I love her.
I thought everybody was great.
You know what?
In it.
Still would.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So right now it's an easy 8, and I can see this being something that, of course, everybody knows I'm a physical media collector. That when I buy this movie, I can see me putting it on a lot.
It will probably come with a pair, Brian. It'll probably come with a pair of vampire teeth in the box.
Oh, I can look like Nicolas Cage from Vampire Kiss when he had the fake teeth.
Lance, what do you think?
8.5.
8.5.
Yeah.
Holy man!
This
wow,
is up
that's
there, man.
A high score for you, dude.
Yeah, it's got everything, man. It's got the gore, it's got the action, it's got the comedy, it's got people that I love. It's got Nicolas Cage's fucking Count Dracula, man. Come on. Easy 8.5. Easy 8.5.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to agree with you. 8.5 on this one.
Nice.
Can't quite give it a 9.
Right.
But that may
it's
change
not
if
perfect.
I watch it some more.
You know, it's not perfect.
I reserve the right.
It is rewatchable, unlike the 1931.
Right.
I can see myself rewatching this one a lot.
I think comedies inherently are more rewatchable than any other genre.
Yeah. Especially
Which
like
is why I
on
don't
a, on a
understand why
rainy
they get
Sunday.
such hate among the critics. But
Well, fuck the critics.
yeah, but this one just inserts just enough comedy to elevate it a little to the next level.
Sure.
And I think they did a good job with it. I had a lot of fun. I had a
Agreed.
great time.
Agreed.
Yeah, and laughed out loud many, many times. Even though there were like 4 people in there.
Yeah, that's great. Did you take your pants off?
Thought about it. Somebody had to sit in the same goddamn row.
Of course.
All right, spoilers.
Let's just jump right into the action. I mean,
Yeah. I didn't
this
expect
guy
that
is
at all.
this guy is ripping limbs off and using them as like spears,
Yeah,
throwing
that
them
was
into
my
people.
favorite part.
Same here.
And there was
Best
the scene at the end with what was his name? Teddy Lobo.
Right?
I would have allowed my child to cuss out loud because she looked like she had that look of what the fuck. When he spin kicked him
Right.
so hard, not only did he shatter all his bones in his
Oh,
body,
yeah,
it
it
made
showed
him-
the x-ray of his body.
Not only did that happen and he threw up blood, he also shit himself.
That's right. That was awesome.
That was great.
That is something just seeing the trailer and thinking what I thought of Renfield. I did not think we were going
Right.
to get that kind of scene.
I didn't either. Not totally taken aback by that, man. Totally surprised.
The thing that warned me was that first action scene where he's in there like when he's about to take somebody's fucking boyfriend who's an asshole back
Right.
to Dracula.
Oh, that's right. Because he
And
was
then
trying
they
to
have
kill the
some
bad
sort of
people.
yeah, like some sort of
Drug deal
assassin
gone wrong.
comes to kill him.
Oh yeah.
But it's like some
That's
gigantic
right.
dude in a mask
In a
with
mask.
knives, and I was like, "What the fuck did I get myself into here?"
We should have been on acid or shrooms for this one, man.
Like, what kind of assassin is this?
I think I know where we're going at this point. Doesn't take too far into the movie to figure that out, does it?
But it was kind of great, man. I loved
Right.
it. I loved that part. I loved that he punched
I
that
did
guy's
too.
fucking head clean off.
Yep.
And then yeah, the best part was when he rips that guy's arms off and then like
Yeah.
javelins him into 2 other guys to save Aquafina.
Killing somebody in a fork in the Cajun restaurant.
Yeah. Where she was like, "Did you just cut a guy's arms off with a serving platter?"
He's like, what'd he say? He's like, adrenaline. So,
Right?
but she did well in the action scenes herself. She was badass.
Sure.
She really was. Yeah, she had some pretty cool moments.
And I wonder if, because she's in Shang-Chi, I wonder if she's continued training, because I know she trained a lot from that movie.
She looked kind of thick, but like in a strong way.
And the way she played her role was serious, but it was just, there was little shit I was laughing, like the way she walked, like the scene where she's arguing with her sister who's an FBI agent, and they kind of go their separate ways, and she's just kind of waddling away.
She kept turning around.
Yeah, I don't know why. It just made me laugh because her character's so serious, but she's like saying and doing shit that's making you laugh.
Yeah.
Right?
And I don't think anybody else could have probably got me to laugh like that other than Aquafina. That's why that's why I think she's hilarious. You know, little things like that somebody else would have done probably wouldn't have got the same response out of me.
Agreed.
And then there was a whole scene where Nicolas Cage at the beginning, and his face is like half gone.
He said that the prosthetics, but you can still hear that Nicolas Cage voice.
But you can't even hardly tell that it's him. It's great.
Right. Great makeup. A lot of practical effects, right?
Yeah. So I definitely got to give him some credit for that. I did not see that scene coming.
I didn't either. And that was because he got burned, right? When
he
almost got taken down by the Pope or whatever.
And you know that the guy playing the Pope was William Ragsdale.
Was it really?
Charlie Brewster from Fright Night.
No way. Yeah. I did not notice that at all, man.
He was in there, and I don't know where she was, but Caroline Williams She was
Okay.
Stretch in Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2, the radio DJ.
No shit.
She was in the movie
there
too.
I
Yeah.
had no idea.
And then I loved the support group. I thought they were all hilarious. Like the guy that,
Oh yeah.
you know, because they're in it's in the trailers a bunch, and I was like,
Yes,
man, I'm
yeah.
gonna get sick of this guy real fucking quick. The guy
But you
that
really
leads.
didn't.
Yeah,
No,
he was,
I loved him in every scene that he was in.
Mm-hmm. It's
I just
just
love that he just completely just thought he was talking about a workplace boss the whole time. And he's just
Yeah,
like,
right.
that's so odd you would word it that way. But
Yeah.
yes.
But yeah, that's really weird. But
Which
he's
is
like,
a scene from
I
the
see
trailer.
I
but it
see
actually-
I see we're dealing now with something a lot different than what I thought.
Well, and it was a line from the trailer that it was like, all right, I can't.
Yeah.
It was a roll your eyes funny, but it's
Sure,
a
sure.
whole lot harder in the movie when he
Oh,
says
yeah.
it, like that was funny. that
Yeah.
was
Yeah,
really good at the situation.
And the other part of the group where he always kept interrupting that one lady, and she was just like,
Yeah,
well,
every
fuck me and
fucking
my
time.
problems.
Can I get a fucking share out? Jesus.
Is there anything else?
I think we covered a lot. I mean, just really see the fucking movie. I
Yeah.
mean, it's
Yeah.
just not what I was expecting at all. I mean, I knew the comedy would be there. I knew it was going to be not to be taken seriously, but like you
the
said,
bugs.
Brian, once you got
Bugs.
15 F-bombs. Oh yeah, the super powered the bugs.
I
that gave
love
him
that he
superpowers.
gets powers. He gets the energy from bugs.
Right,
It's
right.
just
And I
not
wonder
in the
how
other
that
movies.
is.
It's just not in the other movies where he. What does he say? He gets their life force when he eats bugs or something.
Yeah.
Maybe they'll embellish that. Like I said, I'd love to see a Universal. Dark Universe was a fucking bomb, so I'd love to see a Universal series starting with this one.
I would love to
Where
see
it's
how
like
they
comedy action.
I would love to see how they bring Dracula back since they chopped him up. In the
Oh,
little
he'll
pieces, put him in the
come back.
cement
It's
and then put him in
Dracula,
the
man.
cube.
He could turn into a vapor.
Well-
He could turn into bats.
And it's not completely without plot holes. It's, you know,
Right.
like there was,
Well, sure.
well, even the bugs thing, it was like, well, what would happen if he ate a person? Would that not give him like more power?
Well, he's
I
not a
don't know.
vampire.
I mean, I
The
guess.
vampire blood thing was kind of neat, right?
Yeah.
Where you
Yeah.
could pour vampire blood. Oh, I was thinking
And-
the sequel. All those people
Oh.
are going to come back as vampires now, aren't they?
And I loved the one scene.
Oh.
I had to explain it to my daughter because she doesn't really know like the vampire rules. When he comes home and Dracula's already in his home, and then he looks down at his
Yes,
doormat
yes.
and it says,
Welcome, Matt.
come in.
Yeah.
That was
And
great.
he's just like, fuck.
Yeah.
It said, "Welcome, come
Well,
on
that
in."
was stupid.
Yeah.
That was really corny, but funny.
And I had to lean over and explain to her. It was like the vampire can't
Right.
enter your home.
like when he
without-
goes to the
without-
support group and the guy's like, "Well,
Yeah.
come on in, stranger."
It's like, no.
Well, okay, and when they opened the bay doors and the sunlight comes in through the windows
Yes.
at the
right,
very end,
right. Mhm.
and then for some reason, suddenly, Renfield and Aquafina are someplace completely different.
I didn't
Oh.
notice that. I didn't
Movie
pay
magic.
attention to it.
Yeah. I was like, weren't they just in that room with all the sunlight? Aren't they like safe now?
I'll
And then-
chalk it up to movie magic.
Yeah,
on
like
that one.
he explodes and turns into a bunch of bats and flies
Right,
off
right.
and
people
we
everywhere, and suddenly he's in a different place.
we brought up Cocaine Bear. They made a
Oh
cocaine
yes.
protection circle with cocaine,
Oh yeah, that was
which
pretty.
apparently, according to what was it?
Wikipedia.
something like that.
Or Wiccanpedia or whatever.
Yeah.
Any
That
powder.
any powder you can have as long as you say the right words, and there was cocaine around, so
Yeah. I think there was more bricks of cocaine in this movie than Cocaine Bear.
Pretty sure it's got to be salt.
Try telling that to Dracula, man.
I guess so.
All right, y'all ready to close it out?
yeah.
Good movie, man. Had fun.
Yeah. All right. Well, as always, we want to thank you guys for listening to another episode of The Horror Returns or watching us on the YouTube channel. Subscribe. Hit those like buttons, folks. What do they say, like in the movies like Dash Cam? Be sure to jam those likes, baby, and slam that. I don't know what these kids say these days.
I found the video of my daughter when she was like 5. Yeah.
Doing that?
Yeah, she was like, hit that like button and subscribe and da da da.
We gotta get that on here.
Yeah, I may have to throw it on at the end.
Well, we need more feedback. That's for damn sure. We're not getting enough feedback. So please, go into our Facebook group. That's the best place to go. But just email us at thehorrorreturns@gmail.com. Everything we have is at thehorrorreturns.com. Brian, I'm going to get the links up for your newest wrestling returns and your newest action returns.
Oh, and thank you to everybody for listening to the last episode, the Psycho 1 and 2. That's done really well for us, surprisingly. Mm-hmm. I mean, not surprisingly.
People love Psycho, man.
Faster than our other ones have done. So appreciate everybody listening.
People love Psycho, man. That's why you listen to the Horror Returns. You're a little touched. Follow our social links. Please consider becoming a Patreon patron. Even just $1 a month helps out more than you ever know. And next week, another new movie. Yes, we're going to check out the brand new Evil Dead Rise. Unfortunately, I didn't realize that Beau is Afraid came out the same week. So I'm just going to have to go catch that one. Maybe that'll be my cool of the week. But we're also going to see 2013, not the original, but 2013's Evil Dead. So see how much we like that. Philip, until the horror returns again.
Good night.
Oh, man, I thought you were going to do a Nicolas Cage Dracula.
Good night.
There we go.
That was terrible.
That wasn't too bad. Oh, man.